contact me later when you feel like you're ready to actually get started in any of them. But, so exit tickets have been kind of like a huge push lately, and why do we need to do them? They should be done often after the completion of a lesson objective. Sometimes they're maybe not done every day for every subject. Maybe you have a 2-day lesson, but after you're done with that objective or that lesson, you need to be doing it. Why? The more often you do them, it's going to help the students with the anxiety to it. It'll be second nature to them. Hey, we have an exit ticket coming up. Like my kids are like, oh, okay, that's normal. Nobody's freaking out about getting it right or wrong. Nobody's putting the extra pressure on themselves. A lot of my students like it because they think we'll do a whole, how do you feel about today's lesson? They think they got it, and then they notice they don't get it. But then we can dive deeper into what they're missing. Especially in math, I can say, well, you missed the step, which threw everything off, especially as you get into the multi-step problems the older you get. So that's nice that they get that feedback. Exit tickets need to be given feedback like that day or the next day. You don't want to wait a week because that's not the point of them. It's not to put more work on you as a teacher. They should be a quick, easy thing to grade. So the 3 things I'm going to show you, most of them grade it for you. Hey, a lot of that's taken off. You have a quick snapshot of who gets it and who doesn't get it in your classroom. That's the whole purpose of these exit tickets. Not to put a grade in the grade book, not to like see that. Now you know who you need to re-pull and reteach it in a small group. You know if your whole class didn't get it, maybe I need to revamp my lesson, something went wrong. Something's going different in the teaching or the way you're explaining it, or that you need a small group session. Something like that, you need to see that, and that's an easy way to see it. I think exit tickets should be differentiated. They don't have to be the same for everybody. Everybody doesn't need the same 3 questions. Maybe you word it differently. Maybe you throw in a picture to support those students who need that. So you know your class, you know who needs what modifications, you know who needs what support, and even if they don't need the modifications on paper, you know what your kids need to be able to show you actually what you know. That's what you want to know. What did they learn, and not if they got it right or wrong. So you're not trying to trick them, you're not trying to do that. You need to support them as much as you can. So you can differentiate things, and it helps students take responsibility for their learning. They're saying those objectives up there that they can, these I can statements. Well, can they do it? So let them take responsibility. I can do this, can you do that? And then you're going to see if they can do it at the end. And they might like being able to take that responsibility, like, yeah, I got that. And they can move on. So, 2 of the things. The first one is Kahoot. Is anybody used Kahoot in here? Great. I had a lot of people who had used it before in my last session. We're going to actually play a game. Woo! So, if you have a device, please get it opened. You can use your Chromebook, you can use your phone. So I'm going to go into my Kahoot account, so you don't have to worry about this right now. I'll talk to you about how to create one in a little bit. So this is the Kahoot account of the teacher, whoever's done it. My Kahoots are up here. Here's my 5 questions for e-learning day. We don't need to spend 30 minutes on this. There's a new thing they've added. You can do team versus team. So the one thing with Kahoot is you need to have a device for everybody. So that doesn't work out if you don't have a device for everybody. If you're not one-to-one or not in the computer lab or don't have the Chromebook card checked out, Kahoot's not something you're going to go to every day. It's a fun thing that you can do every once in a while, but everybody needs a device. This team mode means shared devices. So you might have 4 devices in your classroom. Okay, we're going to have teams of 5, and we can get to do this in a different way. So that's a new thing they've added recently. So that's a cool feature. We're going to do the classic mode. All right, so then this pops up, and give it a minute. It's going to get ready. And the kids then say join at kahoot.it. So they'll open up their device. They'll go to kahoot.it. You don't need the www in front of it. And then it'll ask you for a game pin, and you get to enter that. Then it'll ask you for a name or a username. I don't know exactly the wording. The rules in my classroom were if you didn't use your first name, I kicked you out, which I can do. So if somebody puts an inappropriate name up here, they're trying to be funny, your high school kids are throwing swear words up there, you can kick them out, have them try coming in again properly, or, I mean, you make those rules up for your classroom. But for me, especially if I wanted to know if you understood something, I need your first name in here. I don't know who Minecraft 303 is. I don't know your, all of these names that you use for other things are. So I need to know your first name, and I would kick kids out if they don't. So on my screen, you can see if I put over a name, you have the X, I can decline them and kick them out, and then they'll have to re-sign in on their Chromebook. wrong book. Is anybody still trying to get in before I move on? Okay, I'll give you a second. So, you know how many kids are in your class, you know how many are there that day, you have your players in the corner, so you know if you need to wait any longer or go help that kid who's taking 5 hours because they can't get it right or typing something wrong or whatever. And then you can start it whenever you're ready. So we have, what ladies are you joining in? No? Okay. I just wanted to make sure before I was done. So you can hit start. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it before we hit start. When you're creating it, you get to decide the time limit for each question. It's 5, 10, 15, or maybe 5, 10, 20, 30, 60, and 190, 120 seconds. So you don't have a lot of time to answer a question. You get more points the faster you answer it. So kids might get them all right, but they never see themselves on the leaderboard, which I tell them that's fine. Like, I'll see later that you got them all right. But they also like to see the leaderboard. So I like to read questions out loud, especially for my English language learners or any of my special ed students who cannot do the reading up here and focusing here. So I read them as we go. Today is Monday, yes, no. And as you see, you're just given those colors and symbols on your screen. You don't have the words. So you're going to have to look up here and say, oh, I want the red triangle, or I want the blue. So the time's still going. And when time's up, it tells you what is correct. How many, 21 of and 2 of you got it wrong. And sometimes it doesn't load, especially now that the whole building is trying to use the same Wi-Fi or something like that. So then I try and help that kid along because then they're like, yeah, now I have nothing. It's not a foolproof thing. Welcome to technology. Nothing ever is. But you just got to roll with the punches and kind of go with what happens. If 5 or 6 of my kids aren't getting through it, I might just finish it because the rest of them are going to want to finish it and then assess them separately or talk to them about what they got today, depending on who those kids are, if I really need to re-pull them anyways. So then I'm in charge, so we won't go to the next question until I'm ready to. So if kids are talking, if they need help with something, something's still loading. Right, like if I want to talk about it with everybody, feel free to do that. So then you go next. The one nice thing is you always get a scoreboard. The top 5 scores are up there. So then on your screen also you probably might see that you're 5 points away from so-and-so, or you just went in front of somebody else. And they like to see that too, even if they're not on here. Did you have a question?
Yeah, how do you know who is the bottom 5 then?
So I will show you at that. So they only show the top 5 to the whole class as you're doing the test. So it changes every question. And then I'll show you how to pull the results and for you as a teacher to have all of your results at the end. So you won't have that till the end of your quiz. So question 2 of 5. You are a SCH employee. True, false, question mark. So we didn't go through the whole time limit because everybody answered it. So you don't always have to wait for the time to run out. If all of the people who have signed in have answered, it'll move on for you. Good job, everybody got it wrong because false was the answer. So I just did that so you guys could see like what it's like to get it wrong. I'm just trying to trick you. You're not really wrong. But I knew people would think yes, so that you can see it. Like I'll show you at the end what that'll do on your graph and your grid and stuff like that.
And I can tell you from experience, make sure you take your own quiz, because sometimes you actually put the wrong answer.
Right, and I've done that too before. Like, and then I'm like, oh, right, now I'm going to give you all another point. Like, there's things you have to rethink about. I mean, we've all made those mistakes at times. So the Cubs won yesterday.
Squeak here is an option.
Nope, duh, Cubs suck. So they did not win yesterday, they lost to the Diamondbacks. Thank goodness. So there you go. And that'll help with our data too. I was trying to put in a question that might throw it around the board. And then you keep going. Hammond has a flag. Not sure, yes, no. And that is Hammond's flag, so I uploaded the image of it back there. It's very little known flag. I didn't know about it till this weekend. And apparently applied to Buff City Hall. And you can see like how one question can really throw you above everybody else if you know it quickly, and you can get all those points that you can. Last question. Hammond's first industry that made it big was steel meatpacking, gambling, soap. Meatpacking. So a lot of people think it's steel. It's not. It's meatpacking. And here's our, and we have no more questions, so you just get the end instead of next question. It tells you your top scorer, how many correct, how many incorrect, how many points that person had, and then you have to go to feedback the results. So the students then, now on your screen, you get to rate it, how much you learned, if it's recommended, how you felt about it.
We have to have a long talk about this because you're responding to the person who made it. And they always want to base it on their score.
Right.
So it's a nice conversation about giving constructive criticism.
That's perfect, because then if essentially they get used to doing this now, they're probably like, okay, no, I have to be real about it, instead of just like, I'm mad because I failed, which I could see where that could be a problem in there. This is also new in the last year. They didn't have this last year, so I like this extra feature, and now I want to play with the team thing, see how that works. So Kahoot is something that's kind of up and coming, and they're changing and evolving as we go along. So I think it's a company that cares about education. I've been to conferences where they're one of the vendors there, like at ISTE last year, and they were giving away t-shirts and having fun and wanting to listen to teacher feedback. So you get all your responses in, and then you can go to final results. So here are the top 5 again. Ghost mode means you can take the quiz without it affecting any of the results because you're going to take it yourself. You want to use it as a practice. And then save the results. So this is where you're going to get everything else. You can download it or save it to Drive. We all Google accounts, why not save it to Drive? Then I don't ever have to remember where I saved it or what folder I put it in or what I called it. It's all in my Google Drive. Maybe I'll have a Kahoot quiz folder in there that I'll move it to when I get in. So save your results. It reminded me who I've signed in as. I'm going to save it. It'll ask me some questions. So this is nothing I ever pull up in front of the students. So we're done. There's the top 5 scorers. I'll save it. I mean, my computer might be on like this. It's saved. So then I'm going to go into my Drive. And then here it is, Kahoot results. So e-learning day. I'm going to open it up. So there's a couple of different ways to view this. You have the students, the number of correct answers, their incorrect answers, their score. It ranks them by their score right now. And then you can see green is they got it correct, red is wrong. So this one, remember I tricked you, you all have it red. That wasn't a trick question. I might be worried about the way it was worded or the content of that question because nobody got it right. So that's something for me to quickly look and say, oh, I need to review that or do something with that question. And across the board, even this one, like, oh, we need to maybe talk again about Hammond's first industry. The one cool thing is you can then go individual questions. So you don't have to look at a giant spreadsheet. So you can pull up every question and it keeps their names next to it. How quickly they answered it, and their score. So if they got it wrong in under a second, A, they might have messed up, B, they are moving too fast trying to get the right answer. I mean, so they might have known the right answer, but then like freaked out all of a sudden because it's Kahoot and you want to get all those points and all that. So those are things you can take in consideration with this. But I love how they break it down. And you get to see all of that and the scores that it gives them depending on how fast or what happened there. So then it's forever saved in your Google Drive. You can go back to it when you need to go back to it. And you can talk to them students. Like, oh, I'm going to repull a 5 and we're going to redo this. Or I love using it as pre-test or a study guide review before we're going to take a big test. So then I know, A, what we really need to talk about again. Or B, who might need to be pulled. Or C, like, we all need to study a little more the next week or whatever. So Kahoot is great for those things. Like I said again, if you don't have devices for students, it's not the best. So when you go to Kahoot, the one thing you need to know is you guys went to Kahoot.it. That is to play a game. You're going to make your own Kahoot or sign up for an account. You're going to go to get Kahoot or create Kahoot. Sometimes I don't remember what it is, so I just Google Kahoot. And then Kahoot.it is to play a game. There you go. Get Kahoot, all one word.com. because you want to make a learning awesome, which is, I don't need to click on it, because then you go here, sign up for free, or sign in, and it's a free account, so that's another cool thing. I think they really want to be with educators and help them with that. So you can sign up, there's blogs if you need help. They can ask questions or do all those. If you go to YouTube and say Kahoot tutorial, there'll be like things like that if you forget what I'm telling you. There's lots of things out there to help yourself if you get lost or confused, or people in your building might be using it. So once you have an account signed up, if you go to a new K, this is where you're going to create your Kahoot. You can pick a quiz, a discussion, or a survey. So you can just do, how did you feel about today's lesson? Did you get it? Did you not get it? So you can do a quick survey for the class and see how they felt, if they're confident in it, or if they need help, or they're totally confused. You can do a discussion question with your class. I think those are more useful when you have the devices all the time, because you're going to be using them more often, or you can make your quiz. So you're going to name it. You can type in your question. You can upload a video if you want them to watch a short video and then answer a question about it. You can pull in an image like I did for the Hammond flag, and then that was in my background. And then your answers go down here, and you'll just click it if it's correct. You type in your answers. You can delete them, so you only have 2, or you can have all 4.
Is there a way to get mine?
No. So 2 to 4 is your options. You can decide if it's a point question or no point question. Maybe you just want to do this quick exit ticket without people worrying about getting all their points, and maybe you'll say none of these are point questions. I just want to see what you guys know. And that might take some pressure off some of the kids if that's your decision. And then you have your time limit. So 5, 10, 20, 30, 60, 90, and 120 seconds. Those ones we all did, I think, were 20 seconds. Time you can feel like there's tons of time. The younger the kids, you might need a little more, especially if you're helping them read through it and talking about the different things, or like higher math problems. If you're having them work it out, you're going to want to go to 120.
Also the beginning when they first learn.
Right, when they're first trying, because they don't think the time limit counts, and then all of a sudden it's up, and they're freaking out. So everything you create will be saved into your Kahoots. So these are all my Kahoots I've ever made. You can go to public Kahoots, and we talked about in the last session, like sometimes they're spot on, and you're like, oh, those are all the questions I needed, it's already done. You're going to favorite it, and then it'll be under your favorites, as you see right here. Some of them you're like, oh, that's not really going for anything I want it to go for, not what I wanted it to be, so then just make your own. So you can always search the public Kahoots. This is mainly for education, not only, but mainly. So there's a lot of like 2nd grade end of the year review, or 4th grade math skills, like stuff like that that like saved me the last week of school on that day, and I had these specials, and the children were done, and I was like, we need to get through this. So it was a good like 30 minutes time, like, oh, everybody was happy, and we moved on. So like this one, the Hammond trivia, another teacher at our school made it because she used it last year in SOAR, where they did a lot of studying about Hammond and stuff like that. That's where I pulled some of those Hammond trivia questions. So there's some fun things that you can use. You can do it at a party. So, I'm just saying, fun family Christmas get together, why not? So it's because you can play on your phones. All you have to do is go to Kahoot.it, and then you can play on any device you have. So that's fun. So that's Kahoot.
My 5th graders
Go
have
right
made them as reviews. I mean, it's a nice way to synthesize information. They love to put them together and then play them in small groups. So
Yeah, that's another easy way to do it. This is something easy that kids can make too. So like, don't feel like it has to be like your only thing. I think that's a great addition to it. And then we're going to talk about clickers. So everybody needs a clicker. Pass these around this area. Pass these around this area. And this one, put them up. We have more than one, I think. Pass them around that area. Anybody need one?
I'm just gonna camera.
Oh, we need one. Pass those around you. I see after floating. Okay, these are clickers. So we've all done the A, B, C, or D, write on your whiteboard, flip it over. You have the kid who's looking at like, oh, 5 people who are pretty smart pick A, I'm gonna pick A, and flip it over last second. So that's great. I'm not saying it's a horrible thing, but I feel like sometimes there's a lot of those kids who wait to the last minute to see what other people are writing. Just write it down, you don't ever get a true assessment of it. And clickers are great in the classroom for people who don't have technology. So you just need these pieces of paper. As you can see on your piece of paper, every corner has a number on it. It's the same number in all 4 corners, so you're assigned to that number. And then you have A, B, C, or D. You can get them that size, and I printed them on cardstock and laminated them and used them all year, and I will use them again next year. I'm moving to 2nd grade, so I might actually use these bigger ones. You can choose if you're going to print them 2 to a page or the bigger one, 1 to a page. The one thing I like about them is all of the A's are not all straight up and down. So somebody might have their paper this way and somebody might have it this way, and they both might be answering A, but nobody knows. Nobody can tell what you're answering except for the teacher. So, clickers, I will show you how to set up an account, but we're going to answer some questions first. You need a device to scan it with, so I just use my phone because it's me doing the scanning. It's my phone. I use a lot of my own stuff, so it's not something that bothers me. You can use a tablet, you can use that. So you just need a phone or a smartphone or a tablet to be able to scan. So you download the Clickers app. And it wasn't working earlier. And then I need to log in. I'm just kidding, so I'm going to shut down my phone and restart it and see if the app will work. So then I log into my account here. You can see with the different ways I can print my free cards. So you can get the standard, which is 40 cards, 2 per sheet, which is what I printed for you guys. That's what I use in my classroom. You can do the expanded, which is 63 cards if you have those bigger classes in the secondary, 2 per sheet still, you just get more cards instead of 40. You can do the large font, which are the same as those 2 per sheet, but the numbers and the letters are a little bigger. And the large cards, which is what I showed you right here, or the expanded large cards instead of 40, we have 63. So you can pick what you're going to print. If you really want to, somebody last session said that they ordered them on Amazon. They're like durable matte laminated version. I don't see the point of paying for them when I can just buy the cardstock and print them for free and have them for a long time because they do not get destroyed. That's up to you, personal decision. So I had to previously in my library put all the questions in. I'm not a very organized person, I'll just say that out loud. So I haven't put them in folders. But like you can see over here, we started a math folder. So then I would put maybe all my math questions in that folder. You can do different folders because they were talking, what if I just do a unit on adjectives and I have like 15 questions, but I only want to pull 3 of them. So you could have all your questions in your folder over there for your library and then decide which ones you want to pull. So I'm going to open up my app. It's not working. So in the app, you then have all the classes. So up here, I have different classes. Today's e-learning day. None of the numbers are assigned to anybody but number 5 because I was just showing them how to do that. So you have your student roster. I normally have my students numbered. According to alphabetical order, that's their number for the year for a lot of things. So that's the clicker that they get. You'll just have that. So I'll open it up on my phone, and then I'll pull up the question, and in the live view, if it was working, see it tells you open up the clicker iOS, and go to your classroom, which is open, but it's not letting me click. The question will show up on the board, and then students will hold up their card the way they want to. So if they want A, you want A facing the ceiling. So like A is up here on top. When I scan it, it'll collect all your answers. I really wish it would work.
Do you want
So you
mine?
have to be on and on the smart board.
So it has to be presented somewhere. So it doesn't have to be a smart board, it could just be a projection. I mean, some people don't like smart TV, whatever you're gonna project it on.
do you want?
Can I just log in real quick? Yeah, thanks.
So do you have your kids keep their printers all year at their desk?
Yeah, so I did with my 5th graders, I don't know if I will with my 2nd graders. So,
Just to keep it back.
and I can just go in and reprint them at any time, they're all the same. So for anybody teaching secondary, you can just put, all your classes would be different, so like grade 1, 2, 3, 4, clicker 1 goes to 5 different students, it's just whatever class you've opened up at that time, who it is.
Yeah, I have different classes, I do the same thing and give all my students a number, they have it all year, and then I can alphabetize and not lose my mind too. And then I can go in and just go to my speech class for 2nd period, and my speech class for 4th period, and then that way I know which answer goes to which student at whatever time.
And like you might be using the same exact questions for each one too.
Yep.
So it's not like you're rewriting the questions 5 or 6 times, and I'll show you how to do that. So e-learning day, here we go. We're gonna go back to live view. So sky is green, true or false, A or B? And as you see, I scanned, your number shows up there. So somebody has number 5, it's assigned to my name.
And you'll know if you're wrong because you can see it.
So if your number's not up there, you might need to move your fingers off the black, because sometimes it blocks it.
And so as she's scanning too, I don't know if it's okay.
Yeah, go
As
ahead.
she's scanning, she'll see a little like check mark. Like if you see your number up there, you can put your clicker down.
Yeah, if your number's up there, put your clicker down.
But I can then look, you can look at the screen and you can see, yeah, I got this student, I got this student, I got this student, you know. Yes,
Flip it,
you
yeah.
just have to
Letters
rescan.
gotta be facing the ceiling.
Okay. I just
So-
want to see if the kids could change it.
Yeah, so it'll
If you
be
rescan it,
scanned.
yeah.
Yeah. So on, well, I didn't show it on here. Like, I haven't revealed answers yet.
No, like, I see that, like,
Oh, I
got it right, and then, you know, indicate.
Yeah. So on the phone, I have green and red bars saying who's scanned and who hasn't. So you want to move your fingers over a little bit? There we go.